Now, Australian property, if you happen to own any Aussie property and you're claiming losses against your New Zealand income, this will soon be outlawed, where you will have to claim all your write-offs against the income generated in Australia. So it's in effect ring-fencing that Australian property to be only written off against Australian income. Now, in summary, the budget is not harsh. It is quite beneficial to us property investors. Contrary to what the media was saying, there's very little change for most of us. The LAQ status will diminish over time, and limited partnerships, which are less administrative, may become more prominent. However, they are a lot more expensive. It quotes of around $10,000 to set these partnerships up. Now, just a bit of advice on mortgages. If you're sitting on a mortgage at the moment and wondering what to do, coming off its fixed rate, just stay floating. Just leave it floating until we advise. When the market does change significantly, we'll send out an email so everybody knows what to do. Now, other countries, especially Europe, are raising their indirect taxes and in no position to cut the personal or business tax as per New Zealand. So we are in a rather good position as compared to other countries, Europe and America, etc. Australia, same situation. They are really rocketing along at the moment. Now, the budget could have a serious impact on migration flows, especially immigration. So if our taxes are lower, obviously it's going to attract people here. China is now our second largest export market and may become one of our, well, it has been one of our largest immigration markets for some time as well. And we do need more population in New Zealand. It's not going to take jobs away from Kiwis. It's going to create more production, more taxes, because we're going to retire soon and we're going to need that income. There's a shortage of property now. On average, we need about 24,000 new buildings every year. There was just 13,000 building consents in the last 12 months, so that is increasing at the moment with the economy picking up, but we're still way behind the eight ball. And this is borne by just talking to my bank manager just a couple of days ago, and he was looking for a new apartment, and he said there was a bunch of people there bidding on the rent. And so this is really good news for us, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to show you a scenario now of a $60,000 income earner purchasing a new $309,000 property. $325 per week is the rent, with a tenant firmly entrenched until I think their tenancy expires in about January or February next year. Now, the property is available now, by the way. So how much extra is this going to cost me with the new tax regulations? Okay, here's the old tax laws, and you'll notice as we run down there, purchase price, purchase cost, I put $3,000 in there for legals, etc. We've got an inflation rate of 3.5, there's the rent there, interest 6.5, even though we can get that for about 5.85 at the moment and less. Rental expenses, that's your rates, insurance managers and everything in there. And this is showing depreciation of chattels and depreciation of buildings, which is the old method, okay? And $60,000 single income, that gives a tax rebate of $6,500, which when all is said and done is going to cost around $55 per week. That's the investment this client will have to put in after all tax is taken, all tax rebates are taken into account. So if we go to the next one, this is the new one, all this up here stays the same. The only difference here is there is an extra $126 for the GST on all those rental expenses up here. Tax is the same, the rebate's a little less. It's going to cost, it's going to be an investment of $78 per week now. This is how the new tax looks. Here's the old tax here, $60,000, 12.5. He would have had a tax bill of $12,850. Over here, it's now reduced to $11,220 or $11,020. So, and there's the overall gross income. 18% of your income is tax, whereas it used to be 21. So the difference is $1,830 per week of $35, and the GST increase, the estimated extra GST at 15% on 70% of net income. I've taken 30% as being mortgage payments, and you're actually spending the balance. So if you're saving some, that's it. Okay, next slide. Now, some people think it's a good idea to structure themselves in a company when their gross income is not very high. This has got nothing to do with LAQCs. I just want to point out the difference here. If you were structuring yourself in a company, even with the new tax rules, your tax is 28 cents in the dollar. And if you remember from the last slide, we were talking 18 cents in the dollar on 60,000 income. So there's a big difference between structuring as a company or staying as a sole trader if you own another business. So that's just an extra. It's got nothing to do with what we have been talking about. So just to reiterate, there's those figures again. We're going to use these in a few moments, 35 and 15 especially. This is the end of part 2. Please search for Budget 2010 Part 3 to continue watching this video.